Hey everyone, Tera here. It's been a while. I wanted to do something a little bit different. Actually going to go through and show you my project for Radical Dreamers, my cover from the Chrono Cross game. And it was part of Crossing Worlds, the album that I made. I will show you right here. I've always wanted to kind of delve a bit deeper into my creation process, so I thought it'd be kind of cool to go through Radical Dreamers with you. You guys will be able to see my entire project, all the audio files I have, a lot of different details, and I can kind of go over some fun facts for you and things like that. So let's get started. Alright, so this is the project. It's pretty cool. So I used FL Studio for this. Kind of fun thing about this one though, I started this when I had FL Studio 11, which was a while back. If I show this, I should probably keep this up just to see if you can see it. Yes, cool. So this cool little window I use for lyrics and different, notes here and there. But at the very bottom here, it says the date that the project was started on. So it's day, month, year. So this is actually the 23rd of May, 2016. So 7 years ago. And then it says the time as well. And then it says how long I took to actually work on the project, or I guess finish the cover, if you will. So yesterday when I checked, the time log was at 21 hours and 44 minutes. And so you can see it went up a couple minutes because I had the project open yesterday, trying to work out how I'm going to go through this video. It also has some other stuff as well. Let's kind of go through it. The instrumentation for this cover, if those of you, have not seen the cover, it utilizes violin, viola, guitar, and vocals. And the guitar is actually this track up here. And this was by my friend ChequerChequer. Kind of fun thing about this guitar track is it's actually the guitar MP3 that he sent me years back when I was trying to do this cover way back in 2016. And yeah, it's an MP3 because I had asked him if he still had the project file from way back. And he's like, oh, well, no, I don't. All I have is the MP3. And I'm like, well, okay, I guess we're going to use the MP3 then. And so for those who do not know, usually when you're doing collaborations and things like that, you want to make sure that your audio recordings are the highest quality possible. So that's usually an uncompressed audio file. So that typically means WAV file. Those files are a bit larger in size and they are not compressed down. MP3, on the other hand, is compressed, so the actual file size is smaller, but sometimes there is a little bit of a quality loss, probably not much, but in terms of this track, honestly, I couldn't even really hear any loss of quality, thankfully. I don't obviously have the WAV file to compare it to, but I was like, you know what, it sounds fine. I'll just use this, and then the rest are all WAV files, things that I recorded. The other cool thing about this, so these are the vocals, all right, so the melody, I should say, with the lyrics in here. Now, again, because this project was from so long ago, I was actually trying to record the vocals back whenever this was, probably 2016, maybe 2017. And I will just say the way I sang this back then, not as cool. In the original, the singer has a very nasal voice, and I think I was trying to emulate that a bit more than I should have, because that's not really how I sound normally. So I'll just play this for you guys. You guys get the idea. It's very nasally, and again, I think I was trying to emulate that from the original singer. I didn't really understand that I just needed to sing it how I was gonna sing it. And actually, I took some vocal lessons from Julia Henderson, my good friend. She actually did also master Crossing Worlds, which is pretty cool. But she is a wonderful, amazing vocalist and teacher. And so I took some vocal lessons from her, and she helped me really open up my voice and make it sound just me, if that makes sense. Just throw out that notion of like being nasal for this cover. So here is my updated vocals. So you get the idea. A lot better. Timbre is so much more pleasing to the ears than what I had way back years ago. But that's kind of cool that I did keep this. Probably knew at some point I wanted to show people the difference between the two. So glad I did that. Let's go into here. So you have soprano, alto, tenor, and then I pan them accordingly. I like having each of these be a little bit different from the last one. It just kind of helps with preventing what we call phasing, which is an issue when if two wave files are very, very identical, you can get some wonkiness happening where sometimes the audio will like amplify itself. So it'll just randomly sound like almost twice as loud, or sometimes it'll cancel each other out, which is also bad, right? And there's other, like, I don't know, I just call phasing issues. It's kind of hard to describe, but I can hear it. And so usually if I have that, I just kind of shift one of these a little bit so I can kind of zoom way in and then just like move it a little bit here or a little bit there. And then I listen again to make sure that that phasing thing that I'm hearing is gone. There's a lot of that, especially when I have this many takes. For some of my covers, I've done as much as 8 takes per part. And that's where you can definitely get a lot of phasing issues. So nowadays, I think I stick to between like 2 to 4 takes per part. Just something to, I guess, keep in mind for those who are also wanting to do a lot of layers for their arrangements. For the panning, the panning does help. But we've got 90L, 90R, 70L, 70R. You're probably like, what do you mean? So for here, this is the 90L one. So you can see under pan, or I guess above pan, there is, if you like check up here while I'm hovering over it, it should say channel panning 90% left. So that's basically what's happening. So this particular part here, right, so you can, I'm hearing it mostly my left side, like a tiny little bit in the right, but it's mostly back in the left. And then same thing for this one. This one's gonna be way back, mostly in the right. And you do it together, then they kind of like even each other out. And then we'll do 70 left, 70 right. And this is also a good thing when you have a lot of these, you don't have to be spot on the entire time. Like I heard a little bit of, you know, something not completely in tune, but in the grand scheme of things, when you have all of these other ones, you don't really hear it that much. So yeah, here's what the alto, when we add that, how that sounds. And then tenor. Right? I can't even really hear that little pitch inconsistency. But it also helps when the main focus is on this, right? So because I have this part, vocal, where are we? Melody. Actually don't have a compressor on here. Okay, well, good for me. I was gonna say maybe we hear it better because it's compressed, but I actually must have just done the volume balancing well enough where the vocal melody line is like the main focus. You can just, it sticks out, you hear it more than the others. So with this, Watashi no mune no奥に right? I can't really hear the pitch and consistency at all. Moving on to strings, as you can tell, this was pretty hefty. There is a lot here. So we've got violin 2, viola 1, viola 2, all panned a certain way. So if I just, oh, it always does that, stop it. I think I'll mute these as well just so you can hear the strings. The idea. Very, very pretty string lines here, like around here as well. Cool. I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Let me see. Yes, okay, so real quick, because I have to go to work soon, we have these things here, and these are called automation curves. So all of these are actually volume automation curves. So I talked about how for the main vocals, I actually don't have any compressor on them. And so what I did to help with making sure volume wise everything was pretty like balanced, nothing was jumping out too loud or too quiet, I did my best to adjust the volume this way. So as you can see here, this like waveform, I guess, was loud, and maybe just the frequency it was at, it was really like jarring. So what I did was just lower the volume a little bit, and then when it comes to this next part, that's when I start to raise the volume a little bit more, and then kind of dip it down and then have it go back up for like the next part. Kind of did that here and there throughout this vocal melody. You can see a little bit more action here in terms of the automation, making sure that these loud notes don't sound too loud, that they're a little bit more even in volume, and so they don't just randomly, you know, make your ears hurt with how loud they are. Same thing with the strings here. You can see there's some wolf tones on the violin, which is just certain notes sound a lot louder than others, even when I'm playing them with the exact same weight on the bow and same bow speed. Some notes just sound a lot louder than others, and so that's when I go back in here and try to adjust them accordingly with the volume automation. I think that's pretty much it though. So I think I'll just play my favorite part over here. Yeah, let's just start right here. That's fine. I just love this ending so much. Before I do this, I do want to say, if I were to like go back and do this cover again, I think the one thing I would add is maybe have like a bit of a violin solo thing in the beginning. I think that would sound nice, and maybe having a different violin solo in this break as well. A little more interest and variability, but let's go ahead and listen to my favorite part. thank you again to ChequerChequer for doing the guitars for this. They sound so good. And yeah, let me know if you guys like this kind of content. I am more than happy to share like other projects as well, maybe something a bit more in the hybrid realm, including some electronic stuff. I think that'd be kind of cool, since Radical Dreamers was pretty faithful to the original. There's no electronic stuff that I included in this one. So yeah, feel free to let me know in the comments below what else you would like me to kind of go more in depth in. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!